I try to avoid the inevitable here. Trying to push off the AEW review, but uh, yeah. So you know who trained Bad Bunny for his recent match with Damian Priest?
I don't know who trained Bad Bunny
Okay, well,
whatsoever, especially not
yeah.
for his recent match with Damian Priest.
All right. So I forward you this article.
Okay.
And what, so if you could bring this up and then read this to the listeners and whatnot.
Okay, let's do this. So Hairline sent me something in the DM in the DM. And okay, let's crack this open. So this is the source is Fightful. Shout out Fightful. I think at Fightful, just at Fightful, fightful.com. And someone called Pro Wrestling and MMA News on Facebook, I believe this is, posted the Brian Kendrick confirms that he was brought in by WWE to help train Bad Bunny for WWE Backlash. On the latest edition of Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast, shout out Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast, Brian Kendrick stopped by and confirmed he was brought back to help train Bunny for the match at Backlash simply because of the fact that he had helped Bunny during his first WWE match at WrestleMania 37. It was for the Bad Bunny and Damian Priest match. The company brought me in, but it was because a few years back when they had their tag match, I worked with them. I think because of the comfort level we had built with Bunny and I, they requested me to come back for that. Kendrick went on to note that he thinks both Bunny and Logan Paul are very motivated and both want to be good at wrestling. And he puts over Bunny for doing a lot of training with him. And he thought that this match was awesome. Shouts
Yeah,
out
there you have
fucking Brian Kendrick. And I'm actually not surprised by this because he also helped train Ronda Rousey a little bit. They
it.
sent her to his school with Natty to fucking get it in. And TJ Kidd. Shout out fucking him, Tyson TJ Kidd. Sorry, TJ Wilson, Tyson Kidd. Shout him out, by the way. Well, shout out Brian Kendrick. It's sort of sad that he fucking didn't he get like sort of canceled? Like he was supposed to go to AEW Wrestle Mox, and then they canceled him because he a bunch of
Be like,
years ago was simply discussing conspiracy theories on some
yeah,
fucking
and
conspiracy theory podcast.
I hate when non-wrestling stuff affects wrestling. You know, it's like,
Especially when it's something as dumb as conspiracies. Like, bro, can we just
yeah,
like
man,
admit that they're fun to talk about and like, okay, like it doesn't mean that he because he believes someone did some fucked up shit, it doesn't mean he believes in this fucked up shit or that he condones some other shit unrelated to the fucked up shit. Like, I just don't get why we keep doing this to people. God
I
damn.
know, like,
Anyways,
so like it's okay to like cry about your hotel kicking you out on Twitter, but it's not okay to talk about flat Earth on Twitter. I don't know, man. I guess there should be.
so Hairline's bringing up some Jericho, like Karen Jericho. He's just
Hey,
constantly.
listen, if the shoe fits, whatever. I say
Right.
Jericho?
I mean, brother. So, I mean, we were just off pod laughing
Eric,
at a clip about
listen, Eric.
from the Cornette podcast where him and Brian Last go over a few tweets of Chris Jericho like complaining. And if you follow Jericho on Twitter, you've seen this. Don't cap. If you're on Twitter, you've seen this. And he like complains, he takes to Twitter and he's always saying staff are assaulting him and being rude to him. And it's the old adage we were just laughing about, like, okay, if you run into an asshole one day, that guy's an asshole. If you run into assholes every day, you're the asshole. It's the old saying.
Right.
So Hairline was just referring to that, but I don't know, man. I think Brian Kendrick's dope.
Yeah, man.
He was, him and London back in the day were just such a great tag team. And I don't know, dude. Like, I don't know. Like, this is what I believe. People can believe the earth is flat 10 years ago and then not think that today, especially when they're in their 20s and when you're in your teens. You say and think a lot of dumb, stupid fucking shit. Again,
Well,
Hairline and
right.
I were talking off pod about like when people hit their 30s, you see them change so much, especially women. We were just saying off pod, like you see change in people so much, like things just you start to kind of
Yeah.
figure things out and wake up a little bit. At least I don't know. And we're
Well,
without getting
and like
into the weeds.
Yeah, man, and another side example here, like we were talking on last week's pod with the Briscoes and whatnot,
Yeah,
the shit that Jay said he was young and dumb,
it's just, dude.
But like, I don't know, man. Like Brian Kendrick, fucking thinking the world is flat has nothing. Like, it doesn't take away from him training Bad Bunny and making Bad Bunny one of the
Right,
most wrestling celebrities of all
right.
time.
Even if he thought the world is flat, let's say he does.
Right? Who
Who
cares?
gives a fuck? Who cares about that? Like, what makes you care about him coming out with "I'm the man with the plan" and just coming out in a fucking dope leather jacket and doing cool moves and
Right.
bulldog choking guys? What does that have to do with anything? AJ Styles thinks the fucking world's flat, I think. What does that have to do with him coming in and hitting dudes with phenomenal forearms and being one of the greatest, the Shawn Michaels of this era,
Well,
of this?
it's because these neckbeards do anything to like cherry pick and discredit people in any way, shape, or form. So it's just like, oh, Brian Kendrick made a good point, but now I can fucking negate that because he thinks the world's flat. I don't
Right.
know, man. Yeah.
So they brought him in and they bring him in a lot, and kudos to WWE. Good for Kendrick. And yeah, man, that's good shit. And I love to hear these stories. I love to hear stories. We did a short on our channel about how WWE brought Chris Daniels in to fucking get John Cena ready for the big show. You know what I mean? So shout out Chris Daniels CD. But speaking of Chris Daniels and AEW wrestlers, we're about to get into this Dynamite from last week. Popped a good rating.
I knew you were segueing.
The king of segues, baby. Just kidding. I'm getting better. We're a few episodes deep. I've hosted a few live shows here or there. I think I know how to.
Really quick before we get into AEW, I want to give a quick shout out to this week's fucking sponsors. Us. And our Patreon. All right, tell them about the goddamn Patreon.
Our Patreon, man. Check out if you haven't yet. Shameless plug in the middle of the show. Patreon.com.
Us.
Right. Patreon.com/ Pro Wrestle Times. And guys, we really appreciate, like, we're at like 135 subs or something. We've been doing this for a month yesterday at the time of recording this. We love you guys so much, dude. This is fucking crazy. Thank you. And like, here's the thing, man. We would love if this show could be done without sponsors entirely. Now, we're not against sponsorships or anything like that, but anything we pitch to you that involves money from you guys is because we want to be able to say what we want and continue to do this show no matter what exactly like we want. The only way we would ever sign with some other website, not to even get ahead of ourselves or go, like, obviously, I'm just putting it out there. If we ever took
I'm not trying to
on this show, if we ever
trying to push insurance, that's all.
Exactly. And if we ever took a sponsorship on this show, they would never, ever be like, you can't say or do this or anything. We want this show to remain this show forever. Now, if you want to give me money on some other shit to not say something, I'll gladly take it. But as far as
hey man, listen, you want to pay me to rap on your song, I'll gladly do it.
Hey, bro, you want to, you want me to not say some shit, but say some other shit on some other shit? You pay me enough money, baby. I'm happy. But as far as Pro Wrestle Times podcast goes, we just want this to be exactly what it's been this whole time. And that's only possible because you motherfuckers like the show and you're enjoying the show. Consider, if you got some extra scratch, check out our Patreon. $1 a month. You get our shows early. You get access to our Patreon exclusive shows. There's other tiers too, where we'll shout you out on this show and things like that. Or if you just want to show us some support, there's like a support link in the YouTube, whatever though, man. Ultimately, what you can do is just hit like on if you're hearing this on a video, or just save this if you're listening to this on Spotify. That's the free thing you can do that just like really elevates shit. Patreon.com/Pro Wrestle Times, man. Check out our Clips channel at Pro Wrestle Clips. Check out our YouTube channel at Pro Wrestle Times. Spotify, fucking Apple Music. We're gonna start shooting next week. We're shooting.
Are we on Apple now? Are we on Apple?
No, I've done every verification step you could think of, and we're still not on there. I don't know what's going on. We're shooting next week if this don't happen. We're starting an agenda.
Aubrey Edwards probably works for Apple.
Oh, man. Okay, no one's said anything bad about Aubrey Edwards ever on this podcast yet until today, which is about to happen. on both of our ends. So with that being said, thank you for letting me sell our shit to you. And we love you guys so much. And like, yeah, just again, like the views and the comments and the
Like,
fucking subscribers. God damn, dude, we've been doing this a month yesterday. Insane, man. We love you guys so much. But again, I could blow you guys all day. Let's get into this
oh, God.
dynamite. We got
I'm
to say
done.
something positive, so it might as well be about
I
you
know,
good.
Doug. I've done everything possibly in my fucking power to delay this. You know what I'm saying? The
Uh,
sponsorship thing was my very last little like,
right.
oh, plug the Patreon quick.
Yeah, let's thank the fans for half an hour off pod before we even got into this. You guys need to know something, man. We were just shooting the shit for an hour and a half about the Evil Dead and Hereditary and horror movies and shit because we were just
Leaving the
prolonging
comment.
this Dynamite review because I'm about to turn up, bro. Like I'm about to turn the fuck up on this one. So let's get into it. Dynamite. Pardon me, May 10th. May 10th, Dynamite. Live from the Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan. Uh uh, we're about to get into it. So to kick things off, Claudio Castagnoli and Ray Fenix are both just in the ring, no entrances. Again, we talked about
Thank
before.
God.
We talked about on the last show, I think, about how, you know, you don't need to like what do you need 5 more extra minutes of spots or like can't you fit a fucking entrances in for Claudio? That's all I'm saying.
Well,
Anyways,
right. Right. I don't know, man. Why was Excalibur saying Ray Phoenix's last name so weird? He was like Ray Fenix or
Ray
something like that.
Fenix, because he knows the correct pronunciation of every move and every
Oh,
wrestler. El Hijo
duh.
del Vikingo is not El Hijo del Vikingo. He's El Hijo del Vikingo. And Ray
Oh,
Phoenix is Ray Fenix. And I mean, it's fine. Do you? But we
well,
call
it just
him Ray
sounds
Phoenix
goofy
out
when
here, bro. Out here,
well,
we call him Ray Phoenix, bro. So,
it's
anyways,
like
this is
Taz
this
and
match.
Tony. It's
Go
like
ahead.
Taz and Tony were saying one thing, Doug. You know what I'm saying? And then like I don't know, it just sounded off with Excalibur saying it the way he was, and then Taz and fucking Tony saying Phoenix.
So this match caught heat with me right off the bat, and I even tweeted about it because it's like,
Oh,
okay. And Tony Khan
okay, no.
marked out for himself on Twitter over this. I
God,
think I brought it up on another pod. I might have brought it
yeah,
up earlier on this episode, but a double Jeopardy title match where the winner gets a shot at the other person's titles, but both of these people are Ring of Honor champions. So Claudio's the Ring of Honor world champion. Ray Phoenix is 1/3 of the Ring of Honor's trios champions or 6-man tag champions. But they're going to compete in a singles match, and the winner's going to get a shot at the other one's trios title or singles title. And this is for ROH titles on a fucking AEW Dynamite show. Now, this makes no fucking sense other than he's going to put the 6-man ROH titles on the fucking Blackpool Combat Club. That's all that this is telling me. That on a fundamental level, like this isn't Ring of Honor. This is AEW. If I wanted to watch Ring of Honor, bro, I would go watch Ring of Honor, which I do personally. But it's just when you're trying to appeal to the match to the masses, it just makes no sense for like Claudio wins a singles match and then gets a shot at a 6-man tag team title for Ring of Honor. That is an AEW. It's just very ADHD.
yeah.
I have
I thought
ADHD.
Cesaro looked, I thought Cesaro looked goofy in pants. This is the first time I'm seeing him compete since WWE.
Okay, so now okay, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, so like
Aesthetically, you didn't
it,
like his aesthetic. And I
yeah,
wrote
yeah,
down
yeah. I don't know. No, not. It was just weird. You know what I'm saying? Like it's my first time seeing it, so it's my initial reaction to it. But actually getting into this match itself, bro, I don't know. I kind of liked it, and it did have some big man, little man psychology going on.
right.
And as far as like what you were saying about the ADD-ness, a huge ADD moment I saw in the match is when Claudio had Fenix selling outside of the ring in the crowd and whatnot. Um, when he was selling out into the crowd and whatnot, it's kind of like Claudio was just pacing in the ring and whatnot because fucking Phoenix was out there selling and whatnot.
Right.
Um, and it's just like those neckbeards aren't used to that. That was very like sports entertainment, just the art of like
giving things
he's
time to
selling
breathe
it and
and
putting it over it, right? He's putting the damage over and whatnot. And you could see commentary trying to like think of things to say, and they eventually were like, and then you can just see Tony like, all right, we'll just do a replay because he's like, they were just trying to like rush it, and it was like,
right.
no, guys, let it breathe. Like this is correct,
And in WWE, it's at that moment where a Michael Cole or a Corey Graves would come in and be like, and like they would have some clever shit to put in there that would elevate the moment or elevate the story. And they just don't do that in AEW because it's whatever. Whatever. You'll see.
Yeah,
You guys will see. If you watch All Access, you'll see. You'll see how it goes on back there. And I wrote down, like, if I was 12 years old, I would have thought this stipulation was cool. Sorry to bring it back to that, but that was a note that I wanted to just fit in there. But anyways, have entrances for the stars you're pushing. I wrote great match otherwise. I wrote Fenix is a way better flipper and rope walker than Commander or Vikingo or any of these other fucking guys. So I don't know why they don't push him. The dive spot to the gorilla press was fucking lit, where Fenix dove and then Claudio, that I love that. And then here's what I wrote in all caps. Ready? When Claudio at one point, I think he presses Fenix and throws him into the crowd. Am I not mistaken?
And that's what I was talking about with the big selling.
Right, but can I point something out that really just threw me off, man? And I was like, what the fuck? Like, Aubrey Edwards is standing on the fucking bottom ropes, counting out to the crowd like 10. Now, usually she doesn't bug me as much as people say, but yes, she's like, there's moments where Jade Cargill's had to push her off and be like, what? Stop fucking, you're doing too much. Like, so yes, there's a lot of that. I'm not denying that. But here's the thing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
This one really fucking took me out of it, man, where they do the wide shot of the ring and Claudio's pacing, like you say, and then she's standing on the bottom ropes or the middle ropes, bro. Watch it back.
No, I'm not gonna
standing on them like fucking, and she's counting out like, and it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Making herself, dude. She's okay. I'll tell you right now. She's making herself part of the fucking show,
and that's
she
not
hangs
what you're
out
supposed to do.
All those fucking marks. They're all a bunch of goddamn marks. I don't mean to go on this fucking tangent, but that's another example of it. You know what I'm saying? Bro. Oh God! How did you talk me into watching this shit?
I don't know, but it's so funny how happy and optimistic you were 2 weeks ago, and then now it's this. And then I just said, someone check her already. She does way too much. I noticed it too when she counts the 1, 2, 3, and then she does like the point, and the way she does it is so, it bothered me, man. And like I was just like,
she's Rhonda pointing at the fucking.
It's just so like too much. It was so much, man. It was so over the top where I was like, bro, are you like trying to get yourself over as the ref in this match?
Bro, that's what I just said. Because she hangs out with
it like offended me, dude. Okay, so moving along in the show.
No, hold on, no. I want to talk about this fucking ending, bro.
Okay, I just didn't want to harp on this more. I felt like we were getting too negative. So yeah, let's
I like the ending, bro. The ending was awesome. It made sense.
The match was utterly great, and I wrote that in my notes. Great match otherwise, like other than like these aesthetic things I'm pointing out in Aubrey Edwards. A great match between these two, like great flipper versus big man psychology, you know?
Yeah, I like how Fenix kicked out, you know what I'm saying? And then fucking Cesaro dragged him back and gave him all those fucking elbows and then did the fucking finisher again. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, we always talk about suspending disbelief and all that, you know what I'm saying? And it just like, I believed all of that, man. And like, just the wrestling psychology was there. And like, AEW lacks a lot of that, man. So like,
I've been saying for a while, like Roosh, I know you're like, who? Ray Fenix, Andrade, one of these guys should be your international champion. Ray Fenix is so good for a flipper, his psychology and his flipping. It's sort of like Darby Allin when Darby, he comes flying in and just hurls himself at you. That's what Fenix is doing with his flipping and his rope walking looks desperate. I'm sorry, but when Commander gets up there for that spot, it's like it looks so routine, like he's like he walks across, like it's just so like, you know, there's a bit of like struggle that Ray Fenix presents that like I fucking love about his matches.
Right. Well, he understands wrestling psychology. You know what I'm saying?
Now his tag matches with his brother can get a little out there with the Bucks, and some of the shit they do get a little out there. But when he's wrestling one-on-ones, Fenix, I think, is one of the best guys they have in that company. His selling is second to none. He's great. And yeah, fucking push him, man. Have him beat Cassidy for that international belt, please. You know?
Not happening, bud.
I like flippy shit too, guys, but it's just gotta it's about picking your spots and certain guys. But okay. Anything else on this match before we move on? We've been on this match for a while. The finish was great.
I just wanted to talk about I actually like the ending to an AEW match. You know what I'm saying? Like, when's the last time I said that?
And so now, because of the win, he gets a shot. So Claudio gets a shot at the 6-man trios titles, presumably with Mox and Wheeler Yuta. How do you feel about that?
I tuned out the second you said fucking Mox and fucking.
Okay, moving along.
The last thing I want to say about this match is we had Daniel Bryan and Wheeler Useless hanging out backstage watching professional wrestling. Clearly, Jungle Boy nowhere to be seen since fucking professional wrestling was being watched.
What happens?
Miro and Renee. And Doug, I counted in my notes, dude, I wrote a fucking number every time fucking Renee appeared.
Okay, good. So I was waiting for you to say it because for those of you who pay attention to our show week to week, this motherfucker's got heat with Renee Young, Paquette, Moxley. No. It's just you're always like, dude, there's too much Renee, and like it's fine. You know, I enjoy her being there. I enjoy her, dude. So, but you're.
Oh God, dude! I used to pot for her, and she was like a queen. You know, like, oh my God, like the girls do like wrestling. You know.
Yeah, I never lost that for her. I feel like she loves it. I feel like she loves it, bro.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah. And like that, like, you know, it felt good, and like it was like, wow, man, this isn't like a fucking some celebrity that's just here getting paid. You know.
Okay, but why do you dislike her in AEW?
Because she's getting shoved down my goddamn throat like I'm fucking watching Solo Sikoa wrestle 80 fucking matches.
Oh, come on, man. You're hating on Solo now?
I'm just getting a reaction out of you, bud.
Yeah, Solo's great. But anyway, so our boy, fucking Miro, shows back up. Fucking Miro. We were just talking about him, saying he's getting paid $1 million to sit at home. He shows up. Awesome. This is showing me that they're probably going to do a brand split. This is what I wrote. This is very WWE. I love it. I wrote a series of great WWE and sports entertainment packages. That's what I wrote in my notes, because hyping up tonight's show, giving me a reason to want to keep watching. So big thumbs up for that. And reminding me why the storylines are compelling or why I should be invested. So I like that. But Miro's backstage. He goes into Tony Khan's office. Very Triple H, Vince McMahon. I like that. But then I remember, it's Tony Khan behind the door. And then I think back to AEW All Access, because I'm one of the 10 people who watch that show. And I think about how he's the way I cannot wait to show you, Hairline. And the way he's just talks and hugs these people in his notebook, his little sheet, and all this shit. I love it.
So in my notes, I wrote Miro's come to ask for his release.
No, he's gonna be on AEW Collision's gonna be Punk and Miro and Thunder Rosa and FTR and all these guys on Saturday night, and they're going to try and fuck them. And so we have to do everything in our power to support that show. But anyways, so after that, MJF speaks from backstage. I just put over the pillar stuff. That's the only thing I'll put over is the production crew and the packages are very well done and very sports entertaining. And I like that.
Really stepped it up.
Yeah, they've really been stepping it up.
MJF made some very crucial points here, Doug.
Okay, you go over them.
He is the best. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? He's better than anyone on the roster. Okay. And he will have the most longevity out of any of the pillars. You know what I'm saying? The best out of the pillars and the longest longevity. I don't know, man.
That's undebatable.
And I'm not trying to jump the gun here and get ahead, but in the Jungle Boy promo, he was just like crying about how MJF barely wrestles. And it's all like, bro, this is another example about how you don't understand goddamn wrestling. The champ wrestles. The champ wrestles whenever the fuck the champ wants.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You would understand that if you would watch tape, but you know, you're busy fucking watching Beverly Hills, fucking whatever the fuck. God. No, my bad. He's not even watching Beverly Hills, dog. He's just playing on his phone. Jesus, I'm at bad. Back to MJF.
Oh my God. Okay. Look at Hairline's turning into your boy over here, man. He's going off. I love this. Okay, so the world AEW World Tag Team Champions FTR, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, they come to the ring and they respond to the challenge from Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. FTR has the best fucking music in the business. They get a good pop, a decent
I
pop
don't
from
know, man.
Michigan.
My favorite at the moment's Judgment Day, Doug.
Yeah, okay. I like that old like 80s, 90s fucking
You mark.
da-da-da, like that shit gets over with me. So, anyways,
Yeah, man. So Tony actually had that made. He
right,
pulled that.
right.
You know the background on that.
Yeah, I
One,
do. I
how
do.
Tony
Yeah,
pulled him into his office. Yeah. Okay, cool.
right. And same with the Gun Boys. I believe he had a hand in that. That's a great theme
Yeah,
too.
I guess to say some positive things about Tony Khan is he is a fucking mark, you know.
Yeah,
So
dude. And he gets it. Like he had a hand in Samoa Joe's
kinda.
theme as well. And Samoa Joe's theme is banging. Like his AEW theme might be his best one out of all the ones, you know?
I don't know, man. I like the Sealands beat he has in WWE.
That's true, dude. But here's the thing is fucking I don't know. I feel like Tony Khan did a really good job with that Samoa Joe theme, dude. I really like it.
I don't
Anyways,
know, man. I haven't got to see Samoa Joe wrestle.
yeah, true that. CM Punk expressed recently on Twitter, "Hey, I want to come back and I want to do something with Joe." What do you think about
Don't
that?
all the neckbeards fucking like that tweet.
Yeah. Okay, so I said Sonjay Dutt is getting a little too over the top to where he's got to calm the fuck down.
It
Someone
was
needs
okay.
to bring him back to reality, but he's getting a little off the I don't know. It's really crazy that they're trying to stick like FTR in this Jarrett Sonjay Dutt stuff to try and kill their babyface heat. That's what I wanted to say as well. Like it's crazy they were stuck in this, but they're still getting it over because it's fucking Jeff Jarrett and
So
FTR and Mark Briscoe. And Jeff Jarrett's
how
gonna win these. Jeff Jarrett's gonna win these belts. And I think FTR is gonna do a trios with Mark Briscoe and maybe go do trios division shit until their contracts are up. What do you think?
how good was Mark Briscoe, dog, when he came out the pop, the instant man?
If they were smart, they'd have
Hold
do.
on, boys. Hold on.
If they were
Y'all fighting over little old me. We're gonna handle this at the pay-per-view.
dude, if they were smart, Mark Briscoe would be like challenging like one of their singles champions, or like he'd be in like a program with one of these bigger name guys. Not shitting on this at all because this has actually gotten over with me. Like the chicken farm shit, all that stuff. I've enjoyed it all. So
Dude, it's because the Briscoes are fucking gold, bro.
yeah,
I did in my notes. I wrote this is more WWE stuff.
it is,
Especially
and it's great.
the spot where he got blinded, bro. Like, dude, that's something Vince would write. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And Briscoe got the biggest. I wrote this down. Briscoe gets the biggest pop out of anyone. He's a real person that people relate to, and we all have
Yeah.
friends and cousins like Mark Briscoe who looks like they can whip ass and are kind of crazy and silly. You know, we all know like he's just a real guy. So, anyways, FDR ends up hitting Mark Briscoe by accident because, as you just mentioned, they were blinded, and Lethal and
Right.
Jarrett were spitting beer at them and shit. It was a great segment, and I like that they're making Briscoe the ref for this. It
It
makes
was actually
sense.
that little Sanjay guy that spit the
Sonjay
alcohol.
Dutt, right, right.
Who? Okay, who is that again? Is that
Sonjay
that's an
Dutt was
Impact
a
guy?
guy. He wrestled all over the Indies. He was big and he was prevalent. I'll say not big, but in TNA for a long ass time.
Yeah,
He
that's
was
what I thought.
he was
Okay,
in Ring
yeah,
of
that's
Honor
who
as
that
well, and he was a producer for WWE for like a good while there, and then he left, came to AEW, and is now an on-screen manager and does production backstage and stuff like that too. So he's
poor
good.
guy.
He's good. He's too much sometimes though. He gets fucking crazy a little bit where it's like I could show you. I think if I show you some of their promos on Rampage, you'll go, okay, this guy knows nobody's watching this fucking show because there's no way he would even do this. Like literally, dude. Like there's no like he's so out like way too over the top to where it's like, okay, relax. But anyways, Renee Paquette is backstage with Chris Jericho.
Ding! Number two,
Okay, we're
the
getting the
second
soundboard,
appearance.
folks. Next episode, we're gonna have the soundboard. Cole is, I guess, banned. Okay, here's the thing. So they go over this convoluted bullshit where
Yeah, oh my God. WWE.
Adam Cole is, I guess, banned from AEW buildings while Jericho is there because Tony Khan has given Adam Cole infinite time off to recover, I guess. So he's not going to be there as much. So they have to pass the weeks and explain why Adam Cole won't be there. But then Roderick Strong can fight Jericho while Adam Cole's gone. So Roddy approaches him. Roddy's promo was terrible. Falls count anywhere feels like it's for no reason other than Jericho pitched it.
Shocker.
That being said, I love this match. This is like a cool match that I don't know. This is just like a cool match that Jericho. This is what I enjoy about AEW is that they do give me matches like Jericho versus I don't know, fucking dudes you just don't expect. So I do like stuff like that because I'm a mark at the end of the day. But anyways, the crowd started booing when they said the match is next week, but it's good they did that. Roderick Strong. So this is the part though that caught heat with me. So Roderick Strong then also gets JAS all banned somehow from the building.
So they're a bunch of goof.
So this is just Jericho making shit up on the fly. You can tell.
Yep. Jericho.
And also, but let me pose this question to you, Hairline. If JAS is banned from the building next week or the week after, does that mean Sammy Guevara, who's involved in the main event fucking picture right now? Did they even think this shit through? I don't even understand.
Dummies. Yeah.
So JAS is banned from the buildings, but Anna JAS is in a street fight tonight. Did they even think about this? Or, I just don't understand what the fuck is going through anyone's heads. None of this was all convoluted and goofy. What were your thoughts on this?
I feel bad for Arn Anderson.
Renee Young is backstage to talk to Miro. She wants to get a word in with Miro, so more of Renee Young. Dude, I wrote Renee Paquette on this note, and then my next note I wrote Renee Young. So I didn't even mean to do that, but that's what I'm talking about.
I just call them I call them their WWE names still. So, Renee, I can't wait for you to be back in the Hall of Fame and all that, baby girl.
Okay. So Thunder Rosa shows up and hits Tony's office as well. Now,
Poppy, this is great. Poppy Khan.
Yeah. Poppy Khan. So this is, I like this too, but what this is showing me is, okay, they're going to overload the roster again because they're going to do a fucking hard brand split. And that's what this big announcement's going to be. We're after Wembley. We're doing a brand split. WWE. So, it's like you said, though, you're like, I feel like the other week, you're like, I feel like Tony saw the security shit on WWE and was like, I'm going to do security shit on my show. It's like, fucking.
Yeah, I feel like he TiVos it.
All these people who put over Punk, though, and shit, like Jade Cargill and them, they're going to end up on this fucking Collision show. I'm already telling you. So, like Hobbs and them, the people who put them over, like in interviews and shit, they'll be stuck on Saturday nights. I'm kind of kidding when I say that, but if that really does happen, we know there's like an agenda with the elite and shit, bro. Like,
what do you mean, man? We know from Dave Meltzer's fucking biased fucking
measly lips.
Dave, clean your fucking room. Anyways.
Oh my god, I will cheer if that happens though, dude. I'm gonna cheer for that show so fucking hard, and I will literally install cable. I'm a cord cutter, folks. I subscribe to like 12 different fucking things. I have all these streaming services. I don't have cable. I will literally get cable and watch the shit live every fucking Saturday.
I'm not watching a second AEW show. I don't care how successful we become.
Oh my god, dude! But what if it's Punk and shit? Then you have to pick
that's bullshit. What the fuck?
Then you're not watching Dynamite. Then we'll review Collision every week.
Okay.
It's that simple. Because if that happens, where all of a sudden it's like FTR, Punk, like all the people that aren't like just friends with Elite. If that really happens, that all of this was their little agenda. And their bullshit behind the scenes confirmed.
It's going to be the Elite and then Jericho. That's going to be that show.
And Moxley.
You can't forget that Mox Mark.
Okay, but I just want to say, though, it's rumored that Thunder Rosa isn't even actually cleared to wrestle yet either. They just brought her back for the pop, and because she does commentary and stuff right now, that she still actually isn't cleared and won't be for a while. So I just wanted to, that's some dirt sheet shit that's pointed out. Anyways, moving along. Tony Khan's
the
backstage with a
first we have the
microphone.
Sammy Guevara promo.
Well, there's a Guevara hype package, a great package, but it's just a little too little too late. And here's my problem with this package. Again, I'm bored with the 4-pillar shit. And it's like, here's the problem. He goes out there, cuts live promos when they start booing him because he has natural fucking heat and people want to boo this guy, but they're not smart enough to keep him heel. He fucking goes, yeah, I fought my whole life for this. Plus, fuck you fans. You guys are fat and you suck. So he does that every promo, but then you're making this baby face package. My dream, my whole dream. And then he's on All Access crying every episode, crying and going, oh, are you okay, baby girl? To his fucking wife. Yuck. I don't care about any of this. I don't care about any of this.
You're probably not gonna like this, man. But I wrote down in my notes, this is the first time I've heard his girlfriend talk, and she was she sounded like when deaf people try to talk without doing sign language.
Oh no.
Argue it. Tell me that's not what it's. That's what I wrote in my notes. Canceled. Good luck with this one. Good luck with this one, bro.
Shit, bro. I don't know if it was on pod or off pod, but I told you, I said, man, like she's on All Access, like she's a big focal point of that show, and like I was like, dude, she's on. And I kind of said to you, I was like, man, I like when they give, like we were putting over giving Nakamura and giving like wrestlers a chance to just like for Puerto Rico, they're talking in their native tongue, and even when it's not subtitles or when they mix in the English with their language. But she's Brazilian, so instead of speaking Portuguese, they just let her do English the whole time, but they don't subtitle it. And I'm not trying to be rude, but I was saying to you, I think, bro, and like she's a big part of that show to where it's like, fuck, man, like what is she, but on that show she keeps asking for pushes, and I'm sitting there going like, okay, like I don't know. You broke Ruby Soho. You broke Ruby Soho's nose, dude. When they bring in Ruby Soho for a good amount of money, which and a good amount, and a lesser beats, like that they did. You can't break her nose and then be like, why isn't Tony Khan pushing me? It's like
that isn't Tony pushing me.
Anyways, so Tony Khan's on screen. Tony Khan is on screen again this week. Tony Khan's on screen again this week, but I thought Rosa and Miro were meeting in your office. So 2 seconds later, after a Sammy Guevara thing, all of a sudden you just kick Thunder Rosa out of your fucking office and are on some soundstage giving us an announcement of an announcement.
Yeah, dude, that I wrote in my notes. Did Tony just announce an announcement? 3 questions.
So he announced that he has an announcement.
God, who is this guy?
I mean, brother, I don't take Adderall, but all I'm saying, I don't. So
listen,
I mean,
if I'm successful, I'm not letting my son start his own wrestling business. That's all I'm bad parenting.
So this was like kooky. What's the announcement? If you had to predict, mine is
the announcement was the announcement, bro.
Yeah, no. But what's the okay? So this announcement was to announce an announcement, but what's the announcement that he announced?
The announcement,
right? But what is the announcement that he announced will be the announcement?
I don't know. This is why JR is not there anymore. Start shooting on it, dog.
It'll be JR has officially resigned.
He's done.
Oh fuck, man. Okay, so
Orange. What is JR on? I'd watch whatever JR.
He's on Rampage, bro.
All right, I guess I'll watch the Rampage, man. What the fuck?
Right, and it was just reported that he's probably going to retire soon as well. So,
oh no, but what he means by that is he's going back to WWE.
Yeah, he's going to go back, and they're going to find a way to induct him and Jerry Lawler together as a team in the fucking Hall of Fame.
Oh my god,
I would pop hard for that. Hey,
oh, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah. Oh shit, man. This episode's been funny as fuck, dude. Holy fuck. So Cassidy comes out. If the rate, this is what I wrote in my notes. and we'll get into the ratings later because we're going to talk about the ratings of the show after our review. So I wrote, if Cassidy comes out, if the ratings dip this week during this match, because it wasn't on first, they put it on later in the show. I wrote in my notes, if the ratings dip this week during this match, I'm telling you it's proof that Cassidy has turned tons of people off this show, opening it every week to their lowest numbers, to some of their lowest numbers.
Man.
He put this match in the middle of this show, and I honestly couldn't care less about Garcia or Orange at this point. We know Orange is going to kick out of a million shits, and then he's going to get the win. Garcia has become a Jericho lackey that nobody cares about anymore, and for some reason they had this guy beat Danielson and Starks, but he can't beat Cassidy. This match doesn't need to go this long either. Do a roll-up or some shit and get out. Imagine having the talent you have and giving this much television time and wondering why we get 776K viewers. Good workers, but the crowd wasn't into it, and it was meh for me. And all I got to say is that the ratings did dip. The lowest this episode got was during this match. This episode stayed at above 130,000K. It went almost to 1 million for the main event. We'll get to that. But this Orange Cassidy was the lowest of all of this show ratings wise. We can get into that later. Hairline, your thoughts on this match?
So I wrote more Jericho crap mixed with Orange Cassidy, and then big bold letters skip.
Okay. So Sheeta,
I didn't even watch it, bro.
I just went off, and I don't even need you to go into it more than I did, or I'll just get mad. So Sheeta's gone this week, cool, but they couldn't have had her do a fucking pre-tape last week. Tony Khan, hello.
Wait, Tony couldn't afford to fly her out? I don't think that's a thing though, because I know the money mark is a money mark.
Okay,
so, like,
but that aside, like, have the fucking okay. Hey, I'm back. I made my return this week. I'm leaving. I'm leaving again for a week. I won't be back for a week or 2 or 3. What in your brain doesn't go, okay, bring a change of clothes or 2 to set, and we're gonna film 2 or 3 segments. We might not use some of them, but we're gonna film some shits because you're not gonna be here, and we just brought you back, but you're just not gonna be here next week as part of a pre-tape package. So they chose a pre-tape package, but they couldn't have just pre-taped Sheeta the week before for this package or whatever. I don't understand why isn't someone, Arn Anderson, Billy Gunn, one of you guys need to tell him to, or does he just not listen? I don't know. Anyways.
First off, the first thing I want to tell you is you're talking about the Booker of the Year, so I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. And then as far as Billy Gunn, man, the second I see a fucking Canadian destroyer being complained about, I just tune you out, bro. You know who doesn't complain about fucking Canadian destroyers? Luchasaurus. Okay? Continue.
Oh my God, dude. This is the greatest episode we've ever recorded, folks. I'm so happy that we are in this type of mood because, I thought it would be me just yelling, but we're actually making it all out. Yeah, we're actually like making light of, when you say it out loud, it just becomes fucking funny. It just becomes comedy at that point.
I know. Well, they think it's serious.
Yeah, dude. Moxley especially. So Christian
Moxley and Jericho take it the most serious.
Yeah, Jericho absolutely takes himself way too seriously, you can tell.
And he takes his points he's built up at fucking, what was that hotel?
The Hilton North.
Hilton points outrank everyone else's.
Oh my gosh.
Listen here, Derek.
Oh man. So speaking of older Canadian wrestlers who should be getting people over but are just trying to get themselves over, Christian Cage comes out with Luchasaurus.
The Guar.
And I wrote Guar. I just wrote in my notes, man. So let me just go through my notes and then your thoughts. They just already fumbled the potential of this story to me months ago. I think with the whole Lucha sort of flipping around, I think if you're going to present Luchasaurus this way, what you need to be doing is like, he needs to be like a full, like you're unleashing this monster from like a cage gimmick. Like it's got to be crazy. I wrote WWE it up. Sports entertain it up. A guy in a dinosaur mask named Luchasaurus looks phony next to this serious Christian guy who's cutting real fucking promos, like getting real heat.
Promo of the night. That's promo of the night, man.
Right, man. And like this dude, like Luchasaurus could be like one of the most over heels in wrestling if he was just a fucking heater with imagine no mask, or you put him in some like, remember the Rob Zombie Michael Myers Halloween? Put him in some
Yeah,
shit like that with the wet hair over his face and like a paper mask. Like, because the guy's actually kind of a good looking guy. If you ever Google Luchasaurus, he was in NXT for a bit without a mask. So,
okay, Jungle Boy.
but I just think like it's not they either need to go in with it or just like take his mask off and make him like this like Michael Myers type guy, because it's just not, it just seems, it just sort of cheeses up what Cage is doing in a way that just, even though he's cutting the best promos, like you're saying, he looks great too. Like Christian looks like a star, bro, like legit. Detroit had huge heat for him, huge heat. The two most the two people with the most heel heat on this whole show in Detroit were Christian Cage and Jeff Jarrett. Go back and watch it. Jeff Jarrett and Christian, they're the two hottest heels in AEW in 2023. Just think about that. Anyways, they need to make new stars, because this show's just legends getting over because they know how to, and all the young guys floundering. Yeah, because exactly. It's just legends coming here, getting over because they know it, like Punk gets over because they know how, and then MJF getting over because he's the only one who knows how, and then everyone else is just floundering because they don't know how to get themselves over, and no one's really imparting the knowledge on these fucking people. You know what I mean? So the promo and heat was great, and that's what I have to say about that. Your thoughts, Hairline?
I really liked when Christian called Arn Anderson Ric Flair's lapdog.
Yep.
Like that, he was all like, "You're just the guy that tagged with fucking Tully, and you're also just Ric Flair's lapdog. Like that's your career, bro." And it was just like, damn.
And again, that's Arn and fucking Christian knowing how to get over. Hopefully, I'm praying they get these two monsters over.
Well, okay, and like here's the other thing I want to say. I completely am aboard the whole Christians getting the belt thing now, just the way this is going.
Yep.
And then Luchasaurus, like you know what I'm saying. What you said on last week's pod made the most sense about how Luchasaurus and Wardlow will just go off on their own little
Right.
thing.
That's how they circumvent.
fucking,
Yeah, that's how they
right.
circumvent, because I know how AEW works, man. That's how they'll circumvent
That's what they're doing, man.
the impending rematch with Christian Cage and Wardlow. What'll happen is like Lucha will cost Wardlow the match, and then Wardlow will just want revenge on Lucha, and then Christian will go off and like start defending the TNT title with, because he gets ratings, bro. He's a real promo, and he's a star, whatever, man. Look at Edge, and people go, don't compare Edge and Christian, but it's like, man, their wrestling careers were, you know, they went side by side, and like I think, not to compare them, but it's just, I'll compare them in a good way. Like, look at how great they both are wherever you need them. Like when Christian first came into AEW, he was like one of the most over baby faces too, because he was getting his shit over. So it's just, yeah, dude. So it's just Edge and Christian. I'll compare them in that way. Like, bro, look at how they're both able to just be heels, make factions. Wherever you put them, they can still go. Why can't these young guys do this? Is that why Cody, one of the, maybe you could say, young guys, got the fuck out of there? Because he's like, shit, we ain't imparting shit. Who knows?
No, he got out of there because the Young Bucks are a bunch of goddamn marks and don't fucking cooperate.
And it took him that long to, do you think it took him that long to realize it? Like once they started the billion-dollar company, and then he went, oh, fuck, dude, they didn't know, like they were good on the indies and shit, but now we're in the big time. And
I think where it started was when Cody went and started his own like YouTube series. Because I remember originally it was all about being the lead, and they used to all work together. And then suddenly Cody started his own little like show. You know what I'm saying?
and then he was off of being the elite. Yeah.
Right, correct, man. And like that's what like I know, because I noticed little things like that, man. And like yeah, I kind of agree with you. Like he started seeing like, man, these guys are just a bunch of schmarmy fucking pricks from fucking Camp Cucamonga.
Right.
Jesus.
And he's like, imagine being like, he's like, I bet you in his mind, he's like, what if my dad was alive in here? Would you not listen to him?
Right. Oh my bro, don't make me, man.
Whereas in WWE, everyone puts over how much Dusty did for them just by listening to Dusty. And yeah. Anyways, moving along.
Just imagine that. Dusty. No thanks.
Yeah. He didn't do my style. He
I'm
didn't do
good.
flips. Jungle Boy. He didn't do flips, so I'm not gonna listen to him.
I'm just
Yeah,
gonna ask Luchasaurus instead of Dusty.
Christ. So Darby Allen package, whatever, good package. What do you
I
think?
man, dude, it is crazy what these guys are capable of getting Tony Khan to pay for.
Hmm. So next up, we have Anna Jay versus Julia Hart. Both of these girls are over with me. Why they're in a fucking street fight, I don't know. This felt so unnecessary, and especially when you have a cage match in the main event, and especially when the last time
Man,
people remember seeing Anna Jay on television, she got power bombed off the ramp, off the stage by Willow Nightingale, and missed the table and cracked the back of her head on the fucking ground in a street fight where Ruby Soho bled everywhere, and then we haven't seen Anna Jay on fucking Dynamite since, and then now she's back in a street fight. Awesome. What did you think about this? I just felt like you just don't need these two doing spots on chairs and beating their young bodies up like this when there's still other things they need to be learning in there that they're a little green on. But even though they're over with me, people will just forget this match in a week. What are your thoughts on it?
so if Bailey is Queen, Miss New Booty, Anna Jay is Princess, Miss New Booty.
Yeah, she has a shirt that says "I got a fat ass" or something, like badass with a fat ass or something. I don't know.
That facts. Check Wikipedia. It also says that.
Yeah, she's great at promos, and I like Julia Hart. Like I like these girls both. I just felt this was unnecessary. Just have them wrestle a match. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, I felt like this was Maximum Mud Show, but Julia Hart was really trying to like sell. You know, she was really trying to like make it a believable match, but it was just so outrageous and like preposterous. You know, like I felt like I was watching a GCW main event. Ugh.
Ugh.
And like I wrote in my notes, I'm glad this is over as soon as she got pinned.
Yeah, like legitimately, it was just like, what the fuck? So
Yeah, man, I was like, yeah, move on. Can we let's stop talking about this?
yeah, so then we have the World Trios Championship open house match. The House of Black took on
Yeah, before
Bandido
that,
and the best
before
friends.
this,
Okay.
uh, before this segment, we had my homegirl Renee Moxley
Oh,
Good.
see, yeah.
I
What?
wrote Renee BFF in my notes.
So what did Renee do? Tell me about it.
She cut a promo with the best friends and whatnot.
Oh, right. Okay. So they actually threw up
Yeah.
a graphic explaining the House of Black's house rules. So and then they fed it to Renee Paquette, who is backstage with the best amigos, best friends and Bandido. And then I just wrote in my notes, what the fucking fuck? Imagine having an American as your international champion. Okay. And then you have Bandido and Roosh and Fenix and Andrade and Miro and all of these incredible international superstars under contract. I almost punched my fucking screen thinking about Bandido teaming up with the best fucking friends in a match that they're clearly doing a fucking job to the House of Black under these goofy bullshit rules that I said last week are going to ruin shit. Now, this match had cool lighting and shit.
Oh,
But I mean, are you a fucking Sin Cara mark? You fucking marks? Ooh, the sparkly lighting. Okay, Bray Wyatt marks. No, just kidding. But like, it's just like, okay.
Go ahead, man.
I told you it was just for Gaga. I told you this was House of Black Gaga. You go ahead.
So this was our fourth Renee Moxley Good sighting
Ding.
for the night. And
We all ring it for you.
Man,
Ding.
my notes just said ding. I wrote, please get Bandido far away from all of this. You know, imagine being offered a WrestleMania, like not a World Wrestling Entertainment contract, and you turn it down and you don't fucking play with Tony's.
Imagine this. Imagine Bandido versus Rey Mysterio.
Right.
Imagine Bandido in the LWO.
Nope, too bad.
Or we get Bandido with the best friends jobbing to Orange Cassidy, doing jobs in random trios matches that you guys are just going to break up, and this isn't going to help the trios division. And he's just only lost in AEW. I don't think he won a fucking single match yet. I just don't get it. And it's like maybe he got offered more money. Like, I'm assuming that's what it was. Do you think?
I would hope so.
Imagine
I don't know, man.
what could be.
on like one of our first pods, your dream should be to work for the WWE and have a WrestleMania moment. So it's just I automatically know this Bandido guy's a goddamn mark that he's turning down
See,
a WrestleMania moment.
all I'm
It's
saying is like,
fucking
okay, like you have like it should just he should be your international champion. They should be having good lucha. Like, what did WCW do? They brought in
uh,
luchas to have great lucha matches. Instead, he brings in the luchas, and then they just don't do shit. They go do jobs, and they fucking are in trioses. And it's like, you guys have a cruiserweight division, have a fucking, you have an international belt, and an American's your champion, and he's a comedy guy. And you could have a serious guy like Bandido be your champ, dude. Instead, like, you could have Jay White holding your international belt. He's from fucking New Zealand. He's an international superstar who just wrestled in Japan. How is this not?
right. Man, so getting into the match itself, though,
Yeah,
I
go
fucking
ahead. Sorry.
this house whatever rules shit, man. It reminds me of their entrance was like the poor man's fucking Judgment Day entrance. You know what I'm saying, man? Like, God. And I was just like, oh, all right. I was like, this is why Rhea's fucking this guy. He's spooky like her, but just not as good.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, and dude, I wrote in my notes too, man. Like at least Bandito and Trent are in this match. Like these guys are both phenomenal
Right.
workers.
And Brody King. I love Brody King.
Right, Brody's fucking awesome
He's
too.
awesome,
Even
man.
I would even argue Malachi, bro. You
Oh, of
know,
course, dude. Even Matt. I like all. Here's the thing. I like all these guys. Even Chuck Taylor's not so like. I'm not so triggered by him.
awesome trash.
But my whole
What
thing is
shape?
this.
Go to the gym.
Yeah. Okay. I won't argue that. But the thing is that it's just that. How do I explain this? Like these rules are a cop out. You're just telling me, oh,
It's
here's a
lazy
bunch of
booking. Lazy booking. Period.
lazy booking. Here's just a bunch of bullshit gaga. So and you're just gonna job a bunch of trios out to keep House of Black happy because Malachi will leave to WWE if you don't keep him
Right.
happy when his contract's up, and you don't
Why
want
would
that
it
to happen
go? Just go be with the Zelina, bro.
with your
Like what
wife
the
and
hell?
shit. Well,
Right, dude. Who cares if these neckbeards are gonna fucking throw a tantrum over? You know, Brody will be fine, dog.
but Malachi's one of these guys who wants to actually wrestle, bro. Like that's the thing, and like they don't, and he wants to do his ideas, and they don't want to do his ideas. He's like one of those Bray Wyatts. He has
Okay, so like, oh, you just so, God. Okay, okay, I understand that, but
yeah.
it's like I don't tell my boss at work, no, I want to do it my way.
Right,
You
but when
know,
you get to, so do you think, okay, so then what would you say to Brian Danielson who goes to AEW because he'll take 2.5 million and because he knows that I get to wrestle when I want, I get to do what I want, I get to say what I want, I only do what I want to do, I only wrestle who I want to wrestle, and I get to wrestle as much as I want because I love wrestling, and I'll take even less money than Mox to even though I'm a bigger star, just because I love wrestling. What do you say to like that? So obviously he's earned it over Malachi Black, correct? Like, whereas Malachi Black's still in a
oh, no,
phase
for
like
sure, but like,
yeah,
but here's the thing, man, is like Daniel Bryan isn't being resentful. You know, Malachi Black is being resentful, and he's holding this over Tony Khan's head at all times. You know,
in what way?
well, it's like you can tell, like, Tony, if I'm not getting like what you said, this was a match just to make Malachi Black happy.
Keep
You
him
know, like,
happy,
well,
yeah, because he's a
great.
little
Well, that's what I'm
estranged, yeah.
saying. Like, okay, so like, quick example here: Ziggler will job out because it's best for business. Would Malachi job out because it's best for business, or would he rather get his shit in and get his spooky little
Right.
entrances over?
That's a great
That's what
point
I'm
you
saying.
just made, right? Because Ziggler's like, okay, listen, I was the world champion. I did the thing. I've been considered the guy. I did this and that. Um, listen, yeah, I'm one of the best in the world still. I'll do jobs. I'll take 2 million a year to fucking or 1 million a year if you guys let me do whatever I want, conventions, comedy shows, blah, 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 blah. Like whatever. I'm gonna go parlay this in other shit, and you guys aren't gonna stop me. Are we all cool? Great. I'll lay down for whoever you need me to. I'll be here when you call me. Right. So right. But Malachi Black's not one of those guys. He's like, I
Right.
want to
Fuck.
wrestle. I want my shit to get, I want to do stories. I want to be creative, you know? So,
Well, I don't know. I want a lot of things too, but I thought you're supposed to provide for your family at all costs. So, you know,
right.
I know
And Malachi isn't like a
make it
world
easy.
champion. like not to like diminish him, but he's also not hit that like, oh, I've won the world titles and did the manias and
Well, yeah.
so
What did he even really? Did he have a belt? Oh, like maybe
the
you know.
NXT title. I think he won the US title maybe or something like that, but
And he was more of an entrance. And like, don't get me wrong, I was popping for his little kickboxing spots in the match.
yeah. Okay, so we go backstage and randomly Orange Cassidy is beat up by the Aussie Open guy, a
Who?
tag team guy. Yeah.
What?
He got no fucking pops or reaction whatsoever, and this is just completely awful. And then I had just hold on though. I had to point this out. Okay. I laugh at this. It's comical. It's like, okay, listen. So throughout the show, the story is right that Tony Khan has contracted guys who aren't on TV showing up to beg for their TV time and to get matches and whatever's going on. All the while though, random New Japan tag team guys can just show up and challenge for world titles. Like, make this shit make sense to me, bro. Make it make sense to me. Like, this is just terrible fucking formatting, writing. This is just.
I wrote in my notes, I hate this.
Yeah, dude. So then Jack Perry's backstage package was up next. It triggered me. I wrote in my notes, he shouldn't speak for himself on TV ever.
No, he shouldn't.
It was a great package, but Jack says he wants to be the best in the world, but all of the goats had some semblance of charisma. He needs to pipe up and let me knows that he gives a fuck, or else get him a fucking manager.
No, dude, he doesn't need a manager, dude. He has Luchasaurus to bounce things off of. Okay. You're not paying attention.
Okay, how much you want to bet? I'll bet you money that Jurassic Express just ends up teaming up again in the next year or two.
100%. I'm not willing to take that bet.
So, up next we had
hold on. I want to say some things about
right. Go ahead.
He just cried about MJF the whole fucking time. Okay, first off, he talked about how at 9 years old,
in front of his pool.
Right. He said at 9 years old, his parents took him to a wrestling school and whatnot. And it's like, okay, bro, if you've been into wrestling since you were 9 years old, bro, and you pursued the school, what do you mean you don't want to watch wrestling on the last day you're alive? You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, you arrogant fucking prick, bro. Like,
and he said this in front of his California mansion pool.
Right. Yeah.
Just saying. I'm just saying, it's like, bro,
are you relatable, bro? I don't know what it's like to be a fucking schmarmy fucking fucking prick from camp.
It's like they just don't get it. They're like, be yourselves, but turn it up to 10. No. It's like, don't do that. Bro. You guys need to like work on fucking like, don't be yourselves all this so much. Like this much, you know? You guys got me frazzled. I'm not even speaking proper English now. Like, I'm fucking losing my shit here with this 4 pillar shit.
Dude, and he started whining about the fucking shortcuts MJF took, and it's like MJF
in front of his pool in his mansion. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, it's just, you guys gotta hear me out. He's sitting in front of his pool in his mansion, and he's fucking talking about complaining about MJF. You know, it's crazy to me.
Okay, here's the thing, man. MJF's a student of the goddamn game. Here's the thing. Max says he's better than everyone because he fucking is, bro. There wasn't shortcuts. He's just, dude, when you're that goddamn good, I don't know, man. I don't have to tell you, bro.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Jesus. I'm over fucking Jungle Boy.
Me too, dude. I'm over this 4 pillars. I want them to fucking hurry up and get this done. Toot sweet. So Excalibur does this fucking, but I'll give them credit. They slowed it down this week. Like, you could tell that they were like slow, like, okay, just a little less, not as fast.
Yeah, they did.
But they announced that Allison Kay will be on Rampage. NWAOG. Yeah. Let her do a job. That's cool. More Allison Kay. You know,
probably that Orange Cassidy.
Yeah. So then they do a Ricky Starks package. Good stuff. But I wrote, who cares about this? They're about to job Starks to Jay White. And why?
I wrote Ricky Starks is the second best person on the roster.
Right. But they're doing all of this just to job him to Jay White. So
because the Young Bucks are politic players.
So then all I wrote in my notes was put Orange against Jay and have Jay be your international champion. Keep Starks somewhere else beating people. What the fucking fuck? That's what I wrote in my notes. So
Starks, you're going to be so great in WWE. Bro.
Right.
I can't.
Yeah. He's
You and
going.
Braun.
He's going to Collision, and then he's going to WWE. He'll be in.
I can't wait to see you and Braun Breaker, bro. Or
Yeah.
you and fucking man.
And do you think put Ricky Starks at NXT, or do you think no, just main roster his ass?
No man, fucking NXT champ, Doug.
Yeah, I think too. You let him get that show ratings and like you just let him run the show.
Right here, Ricky Starks, babyface, heel, Grayson Lawler.
Well, Lawler's on SmackDown. Lawler.
I'm just saying, like, we could see that one day. You know,
we could. Oh yeah. Oh, dude, think about this. Yeah, dude, we're about to see in WWE in the next like 5 years. We'll have seen and or about to see like Waller, Breaker, Starks, lots of great fucking guys, man. Hopefully,
so yeah, man. I've got some bad news for you. So, would you like to break down for maybe some first time listeners here the elite rule I have?
So Hairline has a strict no elite rule. Now, you really didn't watch this cage match?
And here's the second surprise for you. I watched the fucking match.
Yes, dude. Yes. See. Because, bro, I needed you to watch this because, man, it popped a rating, and because like we'll get into this. We're about to break it down. I want to get in this match. It popped a rating, but I really wanted you to watch it, but I wouldn't have got mad if you didn't. But I'm so glad you did because there was a big angle and there's some juice to squeeze out of this, and me just quickly running through it is not as compelling as this is about to be. So the cage lowers, very WWE, the lighting, the way they're lowering. I don't think they ever did that before. I think they started an AEW Dynamite before with Wardlow and Hager in a cage. And I think they just started it. They're already in a cage. Like, I don't think they've ever done like the lowering of the cage. So this is very, very great. WWE-ish. I liked it. The crowd was hot for it. Now I just wrote in my notes here, like there was Gaga at the start. You want to just get into this here?
Yeah. So the first thing I wrote, bro, is during Kenny's entrance. I was like, man, I can't wait to fucking after Jericho. I think we're gonna do Kenny Omega's fall from grace.
Dude, really?
If anyone had a farther fall from grace than Chris Jericho,
so there's
Twinkle Toes.
Okay, I can see that.
I'm sorry, I know you love him, bro.
I do like him, and I like when he's serious. I like this match, but for the most part, but.
Serious. Show me an example of him being serious. I'm just kidding. Let's get into the match.
So, Hairline, you always ask me the questions. Actually, I do ask you a shitload of questions, but let me throw a question your way. Right here before we fully get into this. What's the point of a cage match, Hairline? Why do you put two guys in a cage in wrestling?
To keep people outside of the cage.
Right. To keep Gaga and bullshit from entering the match or interfering with the match or coming in, and you know that okay, these guys are going to have to throw down and there's not going to be bullshit shenanigans until possibly after the cage gets raised or at the end of the match or something like that. Right.
It's AEW, so obviously there's going to be some aftermath. But yes,
so what happens is the Bucks come out.
Oh my god, bro! I right there I wrote, God damn it, why didn't I just skip this?
Oh man, because so there's Gaga at the start. So like either they're doing it, if there's gonna be Gaga, you got to do it at the fucking after, but they're doing it backwards, or just don't have it because that's why I want to see this cage. Or when later in the match, when you do a cage where the fucking wall of the cage falls off, then you have the Gaga. There was enough Gaga in the finish, but the Bucks needed to come get their shit in before the match started. They had to do their dives off the stage and Claudio, so that Claudio could no sell them on fucking television.
I want to talk about these dives here quick. So Balding Buck runs over to Daniel Bryan.
No, okay, stop. Don't give them the Cornette nicknames because people are going to be like, you're just on Cornette's balls. And I don't want people to think that like, let's give them like,
I don't know their names. That's what I call them. I call them Balding Buck and Road Warrior Buck. I don't know. So I'm sorry. Listen,
okay. Sorry. So Balding is Nick.
Anyway, Balding Buck.
Balding is Nick and Road Warrior is Matt. Okay. Anyways.
Good luck getting that through to me, Doug.
Okay. Sorry. You do it your way and I'll do mine. Okay.
So Road Warrior Buck. I'm sorry. Charges Daniel Bryan, and he's whining to him about how he's not an amateur. And then he does one of the most amateur looking dives I've ever seen in my life. He immediately contradicts himself, bro. I don't, dude, I can't. Claudio, thank you for no selling them, bro.
Yes, dude, I know. It's just so fucking it's
Cringe.
it's just beyond like why, especially when you have Gaga at the end. Good Gaga. Like this was good stuff at the end, but
Yeah,
why
the ending was awesome, bro.
why
They
did the
have to get their
Bucks
shit in.
think
They
about
have to get
all
their shit in.
right and think about all the shenanigans in the match, like with the spots they did. We're gonna get into them with like the different various weapons and then the Gaga at the end. Why? You know that the Bucks politicked their fucking way into the getting their shit in at the start. Like, why do
Bro,
you, who says okay? Who goes, yeah, let's cheese this match up? And also, Cassidy and Garcia got longer match time than the main event, and then this shit didn't even start till fucking almost like quarter two, the end of the show. And then you had the Bucks come out and do all these fucking Cirque du Soleil shits off the fucking stage. Like, what's
dude,
going?
I just like, and another thing I wrote in my notes, it's like
Oh,
Daniel Bryan would just walk over to that little fucking twink and tap him out on fucking live television,
yes,
bro.
dude. I've been saying that forever. Brian just needs to start him and Arn just need to start stretching people backstage and being like, listen, you little fucks. Like,
Yeah, dude, for real. It was all like, listen, Mr. Amateur Young Buck, you need to shut the fuck up. You're talking to a fucking listen. We're lucky to be living in the same generation as Daniel Bryan, you know?
and dude, when you're like, the flip was so amateurish, dude. When I
Well, oh, dude, wasn't it though? Dude, oh my God. Claudio, why did you sign to AEW, bro? Listen, tell Tony you also have a kid in NXT that you want to help train, like fucking Rigo did. Just get out of there, bro. You
and
ain't gonna tarnish your legacy. You're not
sorry,
the Hardy.
I literally have tears crying from laughing because when he did the flip, like to me, it just
It was
looked
so bad.
so
Dude,
funny to me to where I was like, oh my God, like I just
well, it's
burst
just like
out
Taz
laughing
was
when it
all like,
happened. And then I'm like, what are Kenny and Mox doing? They're just standing there in the ring, letting this shit so the cameras can
hanging
film
out.
the Bucks do their
They're
fuck.
acting like they're in the WWE watching the promo on the big screen because they already made their entrance.
I want Claudio to fucking really prove a point and big swing both the Bucks at the same time in one of his. You
Okay,
know he
just
could.
fathom this. Fathom this. Fucking, hey, Tony, me and my brother are really thinking about taking Claudio to the limit tonight. And Claudio's just and Claudio's just trying to keep a straight face and like, okay, yep.
Man, Claudio could
Oh my
handicap match him, bro.
God,
Oh
bro.
my God.
Okay, listen. I think you fucked up. I don't think I'm ever going to
Oh,
watch an elite match again.
oh,
I think
dude.
this ruined it, to be honest. Because
Okay, go.
Taz was just all like, Brian, I think he was
Uh,
just talking to you about how he's not an amateur. And then a second later, amateur flip.
yeah, dude.
I wish you could bring out the
Uh,
flip and just like watch it like 3 times in a row.
dude, and it looked so fake and cheesy. I just bursted out laughing, and I don't know, man. It was just so I wrote they can't even do a fucking cage match
We're not gonna
without
do the
bullshit in it.
match.
So
We're at the fucking Young Bucks, stupid fucking
yeah.
Cucamongas.
So
I
we get like moments into the match, a barbed wire chair gets introduced into things.
Yeah, that was cool.
I was okay with that. I think the way like instead of like Dean Ambrose and WWE, him and Jericho were like, let's hang weapons all over the cage. It's like it's cool that they just like he just pulled one out. He just reached under the fucking and just ripped one out from under the ring. I thought that was kind of cool.
Dude,
Um,
did you like one last thing on the schmaj on the outside, bro? Did you catch where Tony was like had a little JR moment and he went, I thought this was a cage match.
yeah, dude.
Even dude Tony, the guy who's like the most like fucking AEW show,
Yeah,
was
dude.
all like, "Come on, guys."
It
All
was
right, now
just
yeah,
it
but
was
yeah,
just
back to the
Gaga, bro.
match.
But anyways, I enjoy when these two work together, and I enjoy Danielson on commentary. I enjoy when these two work together, though. They have great chemistry, and when they do these gimmicky matches, these two do have great chemistry. The turnbuckle spot in the mouth, I thought was really awesome. I might skip
Yeah,
over some things so you can pull them, you can say
bro.
after, or go ahead. Yeah.
I just want to say how happy I am that it took Mox that long to bleed. You know what I'm saying? That few minutes, he really held back, man.
Dude, he bled immediately.
Okay, and then here's the thing we were talking about the television time. I don't need fucking 2 minutes of TV time watching this guy undo the fucking ring like a fucking dummy. You know what I'm saying? Like we
Yeah.
could have been like seeing replays and what. Okay, so I can see a replay. Well, Ray Phoenix is laying there selling, but I have to watch. I have to watch this fucking Mark undo this fucking ring buckle. It's oh god, bro.
Dude. Yeah, dude. So anyways,
I
yeah, I
wrote in my
mean,
notes, Max is a dummy.
okay, okay. So Mox pulls out the broken glass. So I think that, how do I explain this? We went with thumbtacks. Now the glass, like, it's obviously not real glass because they can get that fake shit. So it's like glass cuts you really bad. So this feels cheesy to me. I feel like the thumbtacks are, if you're gonna just do this type of shit, do thumbtacks, because the glass to me is like, no, you guys would have horrible lacerations that just would be terrible, and glass is too fake to not fake it. Like if you do a
I don't know,
glass
man.
bottle, okay, but
They use glass in the deathmatch world, and it's more or less it just gets stuck in their arms and shit, and then they have to go to like the surgeons and get it removed. And
right. So then don't bring glass
yeah,
into this. Just do the
yeah, I don't
thumbtacks
think
because
I don't think Kenny Omega's like taking that spot. You know what I'm saying?
thumbtacks look less cheesy than the fake glass does, is all I want to say. So, and I'm
I
not
don't know,
saying
man.
do real glass. That's Mark shit. So I don't believe in
Well,
that
I
either.
just
So
I just think it also cycles back to what we were saying about Britt Baker. You know, we've
yeah,
seen such extremes so that it has to be uplifted to the next level. You know, what
I think
now that
it's
we've
Mark
seen
shit.
glass, now that we saw glass, bro, what do we have to see?
Right.
You know, right?
I don't want to see further than that with Mox and shit.
Guess what? Mox has got a fucking awesome contract.
In
He's
the
gonna be
city I live in the city I live in, like a year ago, a guy at a hospital literally got screwdriver in the head killed. He got like brain deaded by a guy screwdrivering him in the head. I don't like on
was it
television.
Don Bell?
I don't like, yeah, exactly. I don't like on television showing people just screwdrivering people in heads. I think that's so fucking stupid, man. Like, I can't tell you enough. Look at what Brock did with a turnbuckle bump with blood, and then look at what these guys are doing, and you're like, how do they up it? But meanwhile, we were just slobbering all over the balls of what Brock Lesnar did because it was nice and real and authentic. It looked good. It was good shit.
Yeah.
And it's
I
not
like how
gory. This is gory saw shit. This is fucking Mark Neckbeard. Oh, it's gory. I'm hardcore. I'm Masada, bro. Let me breathe
they're called
fire,
chuds.
bro. A girl's gonna stick toothpicks in my
Hey,
forehead. I'm
the
Bowser. Oh.
the death match marks aren't called neckbeards; they're called chuds. Thank
Chuds.
you, chuds. Yes, like the movie,
CHUDS.
yeah, like the horror movie, the chuds. Yeah,
No.
I educated you though.
Fucking
Yeah, yeah,
troglodytes, man.
yeah.
Okay, so then we get, so fast forward through that. They do the through the
Yeah,
cage spot.
thank you,
They do the through the cage
man.
spot with the V trigger. So
Obviously those fucking noobs would once again goof up the big spot in the match.
well, Omega could have seriously hurt his leg, getting his leg caught. So for people who didn't see it, they clearly had the cage rigged because they stayed away from that part of the cage. And then when they went through it, Kenny goes flying through and his leg gets caught in the fucking cage. He flips over. He could have really hurt himself there. It looked really cool though. It was like a worse version of the fucking like Lashley Umaga spot though. Um, from WWE. And then I guess like escaping the cage doesn't mean you win in AEW. So that would have been cool if they explained that. If they did, sorry, I didn't hear it.
I didn't catch it either.
They had time to explain the fucking lazy House of Black rules, but they don't have time to fucking explain to us that fucking
And announce an
yeah.
announcement.
Yeah, exactly. They can announce us an announcement, but they can't explain to us that escapes don't count. So, basically what happens is, Kenny almost fucking breaks his leg. They go no okay, so a lot of marks got upset on Twitter because Kenny posted on Instagram after he said rate my V trigger instead of like, oh, I almost like, instead of keeping kayfabe or something, he's like rate my V trigger. And a lot of people were like, dude, what a bunch of marks. And then a lot of people on
Like
Twitter,
Kenny Omega.
A lot of
That
people
sounds
on Twitter, though, Hairline, are doing death threats and being like, fuck you. Like, I've seen rank tweets. I could pull them up right now of people being hard, like rank over people just saying, literally, people not being rude or calling him a mark, just saying, why would he ask this? Like, what's your opinion on this? Like, why would he care what the internet thinks about his V trigger over like the
that's a
serious?
fucking mark.
I am like, dude, I agree with that. Like, dude, Don Callis turned on you, and all you have to say about the match is rate my V trigger. Like, dude, make a video being like, my best friend, my mentor, my uncle turned on me. Like, you know.
I'm not shocked. This sounds
Yeah.
like Kenny Omega to me.
And what do you think about the fucking marks on Twitter doing like death threats to people over this? Like, just for having an opinion of like, he shouldn't be wanting the internet to rate his V trigger.
Right. Okay. So, like, you know how we banned Donald Trump from Twitter?
Yeah.
Let's
Right.
ban Kenny Omega from Twitter.
Oh gosh. Okay. So
Here's how Trump created the insurrection. You know what I'm saying? Kenny Omega creating all these goddamn neckbeards, fucking coops.
what do you say? There's people who
Here's the
think the
difference.
insurrection are fake, mind you.
Well, regardless of politics, here's the thing though: is like all those Trump supporters were willing to leave their house. These neckbeards aren't willing to leave their parents' basement, so we'll never see the same level of carnage. You know.
Back to the match. So Don Callis shows up. He gets in the ring. Everyone knew he was turning on Kenny. I feel like he was. This was predicted
I didn't see it
before.
coming.
Okay, good, because this was predicted before. It was a great, like, this was done really well. Callis screwdrivers. Oh, so Omega hits the one winged angel, super protected finisher. He's got Mox for the 3, but then Callis screwdrivers Omega, and it was a great finish. Crazy heat with the crowd. But yeah, it was a great finish to the show as well. Like, they let this breathe as well after the show. Very WWE. But I felt like this cage match itself was a little rushed. Bucks, man, you didn't need to do your shit, you guys. And like, I don't know, man. It's just all. Either way, great finish, great little storyline there. Hairline, what'd you make of it? And yeah, what'd you make of this Dynamite overall? I thought we would have yelled and got way madder at this Dynamite than we did. We were actually quite jovial and laughed, you know?
Well, it's because it's a fucking clown show, bro. And what do you do with clowns? You laugh at them.
Yeah, dude.
So, like I was saying, I didn't see the Don Callis portrayal coming, but I'm also like, this is week 3 of me watching this
Right.
fucking blood show, correct?
So did you pop for it? Yeah, you are correct. Did you pop for it? Like, how did you feel about it?
I was to say something positive. Daniel Bryan was fucking awesome on commentary.
Right.
I don't know, man. It just felt like fucking Mox trying to get all his fucking stupid shit in. I feel like how we were talking about fucking Malachi Black having to get his shit in. You know what I'm saying? I feel like fucking Mox is very similar. Like, Tony, you better let me do what I want, otherwise yada yada yada. You know?
Yeah, he is for sure.
Yeah, Renee's the perfect example of that.
Oh man, you think it's nepotism? You think it's nepo? She's a nepo, or do you just think you're like, man, she's been offered jobs from like ESPN and Fox and all type of shit that she's turned down to stay in wrestling. So I admire her. I like that she's in AEW.
No. Renee's awesome, man, and it's probably more likely that it's just she's the best they have. You know.
Right.
I don't know. My favorite line of the match is like Daniel Bryan was. They were all like, Daniel, why do you think he turned on him? And he was all like, Don can only handle so much disappointment, guys. Daniel Bryan was great on commentary, man.
He is, man. But I hate how he's just like, I love this. I love it's like, no, you don't. In Dave Meltzer stars, what do you give Dynamite from Detroit, Michigan this week, Hairline?
Man, did I like anything outside of did I like any of the matches?
You said that the Omega match was okay. You know, are you going to lift your elite rule? Are you going to lift your elite rule and keep watching the storyline to see it through with me, or what?
Don't you dare ask such a preposterous question.
But you watched this match, bro. So like, what if next week? What do they got to do to make you go, okay, I'll watch this again. I'll watch Kenny again. I'll watch the Elite again.
Bro, I gave them a chance, and Balding Buck and his amateur little, like, bro, oh my god, don't tell me you're not an amateur, and then like, you know, seconds later,
do like a fucking literally like it reminded me of like a little kid doing a gymnast flip, bro.
Yeah, hold on, off pod and off pod, let's watch it a couple times before we like say goodbye to each other for the day. Because I gotta see it again.
Speaking of goodbyes, though, I think that's PWT Podcast for this week.